Jaisacinandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jamuna Tira Vanacharim Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Nitya go Haribo, 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 Nitya go. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Go Premanandi Hari. Shri Shri Radhanath ki, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Gaur Hari ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Ekadasi Vrat ki, Shri Upadeshamrita ki, Shri Rupa Goswami ki, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Purports ki. Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumalitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyahevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we're continuing with the readings from Sri Upadeshamrita, the Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. We're on text 2. We'll read the verse and then we can also repeat. Hatyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha sadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinasyati. Mataji's. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha lolyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara, overeating or too much collecting. Prayasha, over endeavoring. Cha, and. Prajalpa, idle talking. Niyama, rules and regulations. Agraha, too much attachment. To. Agraha, too much neglect of. Jana Sangha, association with worldly minded persons. Cha, and. Lolyam, ardent, longing, or greed. Cha, and. Shadbi, by these 6. Bhakti, devotional service. Vinashyati, he is destroyed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities. 1. Eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. 2. Over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. 3. Talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. 4. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement. Or rejecting the rules and regulations of scriptures and working independently or whimsically. 5. Associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And 6. Being greedy for mundane achievements. So today we're focusing on Niyamagraha. Is the following rules and regulations for the sake of, not for making spiritual advancement, but for the sake of some mundane achievements. Or this Niyamagra has 2 connotations. Depends on the just the diacritic on the Hagraha changes the meaning. Niyama means rules. Agra means failure to accept or failure to or over endeavoring in that way, or eagerness to follow, but same time not for the sake of making spiritual advancement. Prabhupada says in the purport, accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit is, as utilitarians advocate, is called niyamahagra. And neglecting the rules and regulations of the Shastras, which are meant for spiritual development, is called niyamahagra. You notice when the diacritic A is over the it, the word is stretched, agraha. And that changes the connotation of the meaning. The word hagraha means eagerness to accept. And agraha means failure to accept. By the addition of either of these two words to the word niyama, rules and regulations, the word niyamahagra is formed. Thus, niyamahagra has a twofold meaning that is understood according to the particular combinations of words. Those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic advancement. Yet they should be very faithfully accept scriptural rules and regulations for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. They should strictly follow regular principles by avoiding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, intoxication. One should also avoid association with Mayavadis who simply blaspheme Vaishnava devotees, Bhukti Kamis who are interested in material happiness, Mukti Kamis who desire liberation by merging in the existence of the formless absolute Brahman, and Siddhi Kamis who desire the perfection of mystic yoga practice, are classified as Atyaharis. To associate with such persons is not at all desirable. So Rupa Goswami, these are guidelines, is for those who are very seriously practicing spiritual life or Krishna consciousness. And these 6 we read are like the pitfalls or the negative side of when one fails to follow these 6. And they can destroy. Sadbir bhakti vinashati. Vinashati means it destroys our bhakti, our devotions. It's spoiled. In other words, there's a tendency that we can also fall down. All these 6 are concomitant factors that can affect one's devotional service. If it's not checked, then it can have drastic results. And we see we be out of the association of devotees, of Vaishnavas, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his discussion with Ramananda Rai, and the question was raised, what is the most painful thing? And the answer came that when one leaves the association of devotees, one is bereft of the association of devotees. That is most painful. It's like suicide, like spiritual suicide. One is committing spiritual suicide. So these are the guidelines, very kindly, in the compassion of Rupa Goswami, to help us in our development, in our, especially in our transformation or transitioning from conditioned life to spiritual life. So in the beginning we may come with all these things, with all these things, yeah. And even in devotion life, we may still carry them. That is we may still harbor these things. These 6 atyahara, over endeavoring, over collecting. I was thinking when I first joined, there was no dhotis in the temple. We had to buy cotton cloth. And we had 2, one you wear and one you wash. And as the years went by, we accumulated so much kurtas and dhotis and so many other things also. You come in a room where you're sleeping on the floor, just one mat, and and then you gravitate to a bed, and you got a cupboard, you got light, bedroom light, you got so many things. Uh, uh, so we get attached to these things. And, and sometimes you want to relocate and you think, wow, where did I get all these things from? Where's all this? How does it just accumulate like this? So that is, the danger of these things over there. And in so many ways, over endeavoring, like for some project that may not be, Krishna may not want to sanction it, and we may try very hard, and it may just go on and on and on, and to the detriment of our spiritual life. I was thinking also how when this temple was being built, and we had to raise funds. This temple at that time cost, that was more than about 40 years ago, 3.5 million rands was a lot of money. In nowadays terms, it must be inflation and all. It should be like 45, 50 million. So that was a lot of money. But they had to go out. The devotees had to give up, living in the temple and go out in very austere situations, conditions. Go out and sell paintings. And not spiritual, but kami paintings. Go out into the white sector. And that time was apartheid, to go into these areas. It was okay for the white-skinned, white-bodied devotees to go. But I remember one incident, one of the bhaktas went with this, and he had to hide in the boot of the car. Which wouldn't allow him, he had to go when everything is dark, then go and stay with the devotees. That's how difficult it was. But the point I'm making is, some of these devotees became very good very astute at selling paintings, and it became their profession or their business. And gradually they left the temple and stayed outside, got married, and became very successful business. But the point is they compromised the spiritual life. Yeah. And some of them, we don't see them today. You don't see them. Some have passed on. And it is just sad. It is just sad. But this temple was a piece of heart. It's amazing. But it's all due to their hard work, and we can still give them some praise, some recognition for that, and pray for them when they will come back to Krishna consciousness or get the association of devotees again. But that's what we need, all of us. We come here for what? We come every day, or we live in the temple, to be in association of devotees. And if we don't maintain this, then it's likely that we will lose. Or sometime, as leaders, we may make some draconian decisions that may affect devotees. And so many cases like that. But it is the consequences of that. So that is also very, very sad. Niyamagra. This is Jai Sri Sri Radharanath Ki Jai. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives very, very concise how to we look at all this and it's the modes of nature. We try to analyze what affects us, what is making us act like this, or in certain ways that are contrary to what we meant to be in spiritual life. And we understand we all are in different modes of nature, the modes, the gunas. And we have to somehow transcend these modes, mode of ignorance, mode of good, passion, rajagun, and mode of goodness, sattva-gun. And Prabhupada said, actually, ideally we should be in a mode of goodness. Devotees or practicing should come to the mode of goodness. And that is like the catalyst or the stepping stone for higher consciousness or transcendental consciousness. At least we should come to that level of the mode of goodness. Although that is also binding. It can be an attachment. And we have therefore not get attached to being in a mode of goodness. But even to come to higher realms of of transcendental consciousness. So all these, they help us. This Nectar instruction is so wonderful book. And we have to like really scrutinize it, and for our own benefit, it will help us to gravitate from low to the highest point of what's required of us to be as human beings. Yes. But in our practice, sometimes the tendency to forget all these things. We're carrying all these different anathas are coming. In the 9 steps to love of God, the first is Shraddha. Initially, we develop some faith. We see devotees, and we see them chanting, and they look so pleasant and happy, and we want to be like that. So we develop some faith in the chanting, the association of devotees, and then sadhu sangha. All this is more embellished. Our faith is more embellished when we associate with devotees, sadhu sangha, and that is very, very important. This is over 90% of advancement is based on sadhu, on associating with of course advanced devotees. When we advance, then we also develop those qualities of advanced devotees. It will develop gradually. It will develop sadhu sangha. Then, as we get more serious, bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya means, like yesterday was initiations here, and devotees they want to elevate, they want to surrender more to Krishna. So the first step is surrender to Guru, bhajana kriya, and engage under his guidance, bhajana kriya. But the next stage is anatha nivriti. Anatha nivriti means, anybody knows? Yes? Unwanted desires, yes. Unwanted is like is mentioned here in this verse we're doing. Atyahara prayasascha. It's unwanted. But they will come. Because spiritual life is like we're cultivating like a garden. Like a gardener, he plants something, and without his care, then weeds will grow around, and they will eventually choke that plant. So he has to be very careful and weed out all the unwanted weeds. So likewise, anatha nivriti means all these things will manifest. What is that? What will manifest? Pratishta puja, name and fame. You want adoration. You want to be recognized. Like that. All these things will come. But we have to be very conscious of these things, that they may be stumbling blocks. Unless we know how to handle these things, we will fall. We will become victims. Anatha nivriti. Well, that is a stage where it's like a transition stage to gradually go upwards. What is the next stage? Anatha nivriti. Yes? What? No, we said bhajana kriya. Anatha nivriti. Nishta. Thank you. Nishta means firm faith. But we cannot get firm faith if we're still hovering on this anatha. We're still battling with this. We cannot gradually go up. And we wonder why. What's happening? Why are we committing so many offenses? It's all due to that. Maybe we have to look back in my chanting. All these things are there, these factors. Am I chanting properly? Am I mindful of committing offenses? We have to be, this is Krishna conscious, Prabhupada said. Krishna conscious means we have to be mindful of everything. How is what we say, what we think of, how we react. All these things will be factors that will either destroy or will gravitate us to higher consciousness. Nishta. We won't get nishta if we're still battling with anatta, nivritti. Yeah, because these all are very subtle. When we say give up sinful activity, give up illicit sex, it's all on a gross platform. It's not so difficult. Meat eating, I'm sure we all experienced that. Meat eating, illicit gambling, intoxication. Because they're on the gross platform, we can. But that which is very deeply ingrained in the heart, we're carrying for so many lifetimes. That's very difficult to uproot. That's very difficult. They're very deeply embedded, and they will choke our devotional selves. So that we have to be mindful of. And therefore Prabhupada gave us a very wonderful program of, initially when we come, we're coming from a conditioned life, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Vaidhi means it has to be done. It is compulsory. Especially if you're living in an ashram with devotees. Then there's rules are there. You have to follow these rules. Rising early, unless you're very debilitated, have some debilitating disease, or other than that, we should all rise early and follow the morning programs. Nicely study the books. All these they kind of had, simply chanting 16 rounds is good, but still we need the other factors there also to nourish us. Association, hearing, chanting and hearing, taking prasadam. All these things, they are factors that will assist us in combating these anathas. Yes. They will eventually, gradually, they will vanish. And I always think of this, we did this analogy, it's a bit crude, but it's a nice analogy of a green mango. A green mango in the beginning, when it's just growing, it's very bitter, right? It's very bitter when you try to bite it. You may add some salt, and we used to eat with salt and chili powder to get that bitterness. Then, gradually that mango over time, it becomes sour. It's sour. Then over more time, it becomes a ripened mango, which everybody relishes. So devotees is also this analogy of a transition from a green mango to we're coming in a rough. We all are coming from a rough, and then gradually we get owned into smoothen out. Sometimes purification is there. We cannot avoid that. Fried and burnt. We get fried, yes. But it's all part of the purification. And if you live in ashram, devotees are coming from different situations, and they're all carrying different baggages. And you're all trying to live together. And it's not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. If you lived in ashram. It is not easy. And we have to tolerate. Prabhupada said tolerate. Of course, he had so many devotees in the temple present would write to Prabhupada complaining about this devotee, that devotee. And there was a very nice incident. Well, I'm saying nice incident. One incident in New York, Brooklyn. Sattvarup Maharaj was the president, and they had one Bhakta there, Bhakta Pita, and he was a bit eccentric, eccentric, and he would not follow the norms or conform to normal kind of situation. Like he would not sleep in the rooms. He would sleep on the temple, on the stairs, and like that the devotees would complain to the president, and so he wrote to Prabhupada about this devotee, and Prabhupada read and said, "What's the problem? Can't you tolerate?" And then eventually that devotee moved to another temple in Boston somewhere. And the same thing happened there. Same thing. And of course the temple president wrote to Prabhupada again, replied, "What's the problem? Can't you tolerate?" And eventually Giriraj Swami tells the story. Because he said, many years later he met this same devotee in New York temple, and he was dancing very enthusiastically, and his name was Kusakrat. Right? Kusakrata. And he became a Sanskrit scholar, and he was translating the books of Rupa Sanatan Goswami. Yeah. Tolerate, and we don't. Prabhupada could see past, present, future, and this devotee became a very exemplary devotee. Of course, he passed on lately in Vrindavan with cancer, I think. Yeah, the point is we don't know who's, we sometimes we judge externally. We judge people by externals. We don't see the good that they may have 1% good and maybe 99% bad, but a devotee, a pure devotee, even Krishna will see that 1% good, and he will exploit that. I was reading the other day, I get the name now. Anyway, this is the cousin of Krishna. What's his name? Who came from Dwarika to Vrindavan? Uddhava. Thank you. Uddhava. So at one time there was a conversation with Vidura, Uddhava and Vidura, and he was thinking of how Krishna. He was actually. He quotes this verse, Aho Bhakyam Stanakuta Kala. Very beautiful verse. He quotes this verse. And I'll give you the translation. It says, who can be more merciful than the one who gave shelter or the position of mother to Putana, Bhakyam, Putana. Who can be more merciful than that person who gave shelter to, who came with deadly poison, kalakut, poison in her breast. She came with an intention. Of course, she was commissioned by Kamsa to kill Krishna. She came with that intention. But these demons have mystic power. She transformed into a very beautiful. When she entered Gokul, into the house of Nanda Maharaj, she transformed into a very beautiful goddess of fortune, and everybody was taken by this beautiful woman. And they just saw her as one of them. But at some point she was alone with Krishna. And now is the time. So she thought, no, this baby must be hungry, let me feed him. Instinct. Baby is crying, you need some milk. So she offered a breast. But the breast was laced with kalakut, poison, enough poison to kill, let's say, 10,000 elephants. But Krishna is a baby, but same time is the supreme personality of Godhead. He saw through that. But because she offered her breast as a mother, instinct of a mother, he accepted. And he killed her. But he still gave her the position of mother in the spiritual world. So Uddhava is contemplating on this Aho Bhakyam Stana Khat. Very beautiful verse in the second canto, I think it's there. Yeah. Remembrance of Krishna. There is a chapter called How is Remembering Krishna? Who can be more merciful? So because the pure devotees are representatives of the Supreme, they also carry that same mood. They are the emissaries of Krishna. They come on behalf of Krishna. And they come with that same mood of compassion. They are para dukkha dukhi. Para dukkha dukhi. When they see misfortune, when they see suffering, it pains them. It pains them. And they want to alleviate that suffering. And what is our real suffering? In conditioned life, it's not about rich and poor. Real suffering is our ignorance of knowing who we are and who is God, who is Krishna. That is suffering. That is suffering. Therefore, these devotees of the Lord, they come with that agenda. And Rupa Goswami is also following. He is the direct disciple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 10 days in preaching the science of Krishna consciousness to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan at different occasions. And Rupa is carrying out those. So he's been commissioned to write for the welfare of the Vaishnavas. And that is our greatest asset, is that we can benefit, become an asset to the movement, to Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, and to the predecessor Acharyas, because we all are being sheltered by them. Yes, right down to the present Swamis, the Gurus, but they are carrying on the same work of Rupa Goswami. Yes. So these concomitant factors are there to make us be wary, to be wary of these pitfalls. And sometimes we be so covered we cannot see them. Till your spiritual master or some devotee who cares for you, he will tell you. He will confide in you, yes. And we have to be receptive and give up that pride, that false pride. With all these competent factors of that. False pride is there also, comes with that. And pride, lust, anger, greed, these are very deeply in the heart, and it's very, very difficult. But the process is there. We've got a wonderful process in Krishna consciousness to gradually weed out all these, as long as we stay in the shelter of devotees and follow the regular principles of freedom. These 4 principles, they are principles of freedom. Actually, they liberate us. People say, "Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. What do you do for fun?" What do you do for fun? Then you must come live with us and you'll see. Come associate with the devotees. Come for the Sunday program. Or come to the local namahats. Take prasadam. Taking prasadam was the start of your journey. Yeah. Knowing, unknowingly, you made your start. Or hearing the holy names. They're so powerful, potent. And that faith must be there. Initially, in the 9 steps, And we went to Nishta. Nishta, then Ruchi, taste. Taste for what? Hearing, chanting, deity worship, holy cooking for the Lord. You develop taste for being with the association of devotees. Ruchi. So these are like advanced stages of Ruchi. Ashakti. Attachment. We become attached to this. Without these things, we'll be missing something. Anybody thought, I didn't chant my rounds today? How do you feel? If you didn't chant in the morning, don't you feel kind of morose about it? You feel guilty about it? You won't want to take prasadam till you chant your rounds. So that attachment to chanting, yes. Attachment for chanting, attachment for hearing Bhagavatam, attachment for being in association, ashakti. Then the penultimate, bhav. These are very first stages of love of God are manifesting. And then finally, Krishna Prem. That's what we all want. We all here for that. To get Krishna Prem. But if you harboring all these things, then it's very difficult. Try as we may. As long as we're harboring this, we cannot make it. We're stuck. We just stay stuck in this anatta nivritti stage. But we have to gravitate. We have to. This Krishna conscious movement is a is a dynamic. It's not static. It is dynamic. It is not static, and we have to gauge like that. Over the years, am I making? From last year to now, we have to measure ourselves and see, like a barometer, and advance, gravitate to higher consciousness. Okay, I'll stop. Is there any questions or comments? Ranga.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I was just thinking, when you were talking about Lord Krishna being so merciful to Putana, and we also see in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saved Jagai and Madai and gave them the highest position of being servants of the devotees by building a ghat and serving the devotees at the ghat. And they transform their hearts. So in this age of Kali Yuga, we need to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in order to transform our hearts. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, but he is the merciful incarnation. He is Namo Maha Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate. Is the Patita Pavan. He's come in that, he's Krishna, not different, but he's come for a specific purpose to deliver not only everyone is Jagai and Madai in Kali Yuga. We all have come with the Jagai Madai consciousness, and now by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is cleaning that consciousness, purging it. With the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Yes, that's his presentation. It's come as the holy name. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes?
Jaisacinandana Prabhu, as we are progressing gradually from Shraddha to Prema through the different stages, is it that our realization or our depth of realization within each stage grows exponentially.
I couldn't hear the last part.
Is it that our
Take your mind.
depth of realization as we progress gradually from Shraddha to Prema grows exponentially?
It's gradually. You answered that. Yeah. It's a gradual process. Yeah, it will gradually. And they only know your spiritual master will know your your growth, and of course the devotees that you are around. By your service mood, the way you carry yourself as a devotee, your exemplary example of being a devotee. All these things will augur that that your consciousness is rising. Yeah. So, but yeah, you always stay in that. Don't think now I'm a pure devotee. I can do anything I can. And no, you should always. Prabhupada said this process is a cultivation. This Krishna is a cultivation. It is ongoing, and we have to. Anandam Buri, Ananda is ever increasing. Maharaj was making a point last week. Anandam Buri, ever increasing. Yeah, our devotional service should also be like that. Our mood of pleasing our spiritual master, our authorities and the devotees in that way we will get the blessings and we will fulfill our desires of getting Krishna Prem one day. Hare Krishna.
I have another question as well. My Guru Maharaj was explaining to me that when we become more advanced, we can engage the mode of passion in Krishna's service, but in the beginning we can't do that. Can you please elaborate on that?
Say it again.
My Guru Maharaj was explaining that as we become more spiritually advanced, we can engage the mode of passion in Krishna's service, but in the beginning we can't do that.
In the beginning you can't?
We can't do that. We can't engage it.
You can't engage?
Yeah, we can't.
As long as that passion goes to goodness, will not go down to devalue to mode of ignorance. You understand? As long as it gravitates to goodness, then it's good. It's okay, because we are coming from a conditioned state, and it's like gradually it's not that today I'm ignorance, tomorrow I'm going to be in passion, next time. No, it's like a clearing. We have to clear all that, and at some point we will. But yeah, passion, higher modes of passion can lead to goodness. So you understand? Yeah. Like Arjun fought in a mode of passion. How is he going to fight in a war? He had to be in that mode of psych himself to fight in a war. He can't go smiling on a mode of goodness and fight. No. He had to psych himself. And Krishna made him angry so that he could fight. Krishna was chastising him, calling him all kinds of names, calling him low class, you this, you that, you impotent, use words like that. Yeah, riled him up. Then, but he fought for the pleasure of Krishna. So passion can be used in Krishna's service, yes. Hanuman. There's two glaring examples Prabhupada gives. Hanuman burnt the city in a fit of anger. The anger is in the mode of passion. But because he wanted to please Ram, to bring Sita back to Ram, he used it in the service of Krishna. But for our own selves, when we get, then it's sense gratification. Yeah. All right?
Thank you, Jaisacinandana Prabhu.
Anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki. Thank you. Hare Krishna.